Good day, brothers and sisters. Wisdom at Dawn, episode 346. Walking the path according to the Dharma, a limited understanding. In the following verse, a value can be seen in many different ways. Having many expectations, we are never satisfied. If we are contented, we are always grateful. Those without greed feel the most well off. Those with virtue feel they have more than enough. Master says, the poor and suffering are powerless and have nowhere to turn. As for the wealthy, they seek more and more and are not satisfied. The more they gain, the more they worry about loss, so they never feel contented. The best way to live according to Master is with contentment and gratitude. And what kind of people is always content and not greedy? Virtuous people. By engaging in spiritual practice, we realize that all conditioned phenomena in the world will arise and cease. So we must seek the unconditioned Dharma or true principles of life and not material pursuits. When awakened ones see deluded people, they would feel sad for them. There are those born into lands with many disadvantages. Their lives are impoverished, lacking everything, but yet they can develop a sense of abundance, of love, and willingness to give. The awakened ones see them as role models. A good example is in South Africa, a group of people who look different from us, but they share the same mission as us. They have developed the same aspiration to give and serve the needy. For many years, South African volunteers have worked with a sense of happiness and freedom. Though the road is difficult for them, they still traverse happily. As they climb mountains and walk on rough roads, they are always smiling and singing. They help people with AIDS. They bathe them, clean their homes, comfort them, and feed them. These volunteers themselves are poor, yet they are spiritually rich. After the distribution at the end of August, the local volunteers started a fundraising on the street for those without families, for orphans and old people living by themselves, for those who had greater needs. The spirit of the bamboo banks became deeply rooted in their hearts, so they took action and started fundraising. Now soon their actions was noticed by an Indian businessman living in Swaziland. He was so moved that he also started providing financial support for these orphans and poor people. See, these volunteers, they are truly bringing hope and joy to Africa. But for those who are with abundance, we must also learn to transform them. The wealthy can become humble, courteous, broad-hearted, and truly give without seeking anything in return. And then they will become the wealthy among the wealthy. After seeking and attaining so much, they must be very contented. And the more contented they are, the more they are willing to give. Without contentment in heart, the rich suffers, perhaps even more than the poor. Master says, if we accept the Buddha's teachings, then we can be nourished by the great teachings to develop our wisdom life. Accepting the teachings is like using Dharma water to nourish the long arid land in our hearts. Now that we have the Dharma water, our wisdom life can finally grow. We all intrinsically have Buddha nature. So when a seed is planted in the field of our minds and is nourished and immersed by Dharma water, our wisdom life will naturally grow. And this makes us the Buddha's children. As in the Lotus Sutra, there is a passage from chapter 2 of the Skillful Means that states, "Today, indeed, I know that I am a true child of the Buddha, born from the Buddha's mouth and transformed by the Dharma. I have obtained a share of the Buddha Dharma." The Buddha transmitted his teachings by the Dharma that came from his mouth, so therefore we are called the Buddha's children born of his mouth. The Buddha gave teachings to his children bit by bit after assessing and comprehending the capabilities of his children. For those who diligently and earnestly practice the 6 paramitas, the 4 infinite minds, and the 3 non-leaks, the Buddha gave predictions of Buddhahood. So thus, we should take good care of our minds, not just in this life, but in future lives, and continue to walk on the Bodhi path without straying. That means staying on the middle path, and we will definitely realize the supreme wisdom of the Buddha. So therefore, be mindful always. Cảm ơn for listening in. May wisdom and inspiration be with all always.